After I graduated in '96, I enlisted, which ended up being almost a whole 15-year career.
Lucas is one of my clients. I work closely with him to help him get the benefits he's entitled to.
In 2006, I left the Sacramento Recruiting Battalion where I was an Army recruiter, and I decided that I wanted to pursue my dream in the Army, which was to jump out of planes. We were in northeastern Afghanistan. The major firefight that took place was on 13 July 2008. We lost 9 guys. Over 80% of our platoon was wounded. That was probably one of the most significant events of my life to this day.
2 years after Lucas returned from Afghanistan, his younger brother, who was serving as a medic, was killed in combat.
My brother was killed in Afghanistan on August 31st, 2010. He was 20 years old, at the time of his death. Escorted his body from Dover in Maryland.
I was terrified to where I did not want to lose another child. These 2 boys are all I have.
After my brother was killed, my family petitioned to basically separate me from service under the Sole Survivor Legislation Act.
This is her only son. She lost one, the other one came back somewhat damaged by his experience, but loves his country and loved his service and wanted to make that his career.
It was tough, it was tough going from knowing you were going to be in the military for 20 plus years to all of a sudden being a civilian, knowing that I was no longer going to be in the service and no longer have my brother with me. I felt like I hit rock bottom.
When he starts talking, I feel his pain. And we just try to be strong for each other.
After everything Lucas and his family had experienced, the VA took the legal position that this career officer was not entitled to a bonus he had received for re-enlisting and garnished his benefits.
When we filed claims for Lucas to compensate him for some of the disabilities he suffered while in combat, the VA withheld the money, is withholding the money.
Public Counsel has done an amazing job and took the weight off my shoulders and the stress that I would have had to deal with, because they are phenomenal at what they do, and they know the ins and outs that I would have never have known.
This is a phenomenal case for me, trying to rectify what I think is a wrong.
That was me in one of the patrols in Afghanistan.
Just last year alone, we had spoken to over 2,000 veterans. We have 300 to 325 active cases at any given time.
I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him and what they did. Definitely appreciate everything that they have done for me.
I received a 3-day notice from my landlord because I had gotten behind. It just seemed like I could never catch up.
It's intimidating and scary to think, oh, I'm getting evicted from my home. I might end up on the street. And then on top of that, to have to go to court without an attorney and then have to deal with that process that they're completely unfamiliar with.
I was very, very scared. If I had to leave here or just get put out, where was I going to stay?
Like Audrey, Maria was terrified when she received an eviction notice, even though she had always paid her rent on time.
Me vino un papel. Y yo como leo, ¿verdad? Pero entendí que eran 3 días de desalojo, decía.
Since Maria had paid her rent in cash, she had no proof or receipt. Her landlord wanted to evict Maria in order to get a new tenant who would pay a higher rent.
Y yo me enfermé. Y ahorita estoy que no me puedo reponer. Tengo estrés, tengo nervios, no puedo dormir, no me daba hambre. Solo de llorar me agarraba.
Public Counsel attorney Claudia Medina knows firsthand what it means to face an eviction without an attorney.
My family lived here for 10 years. A new landlord bought the property, and he started looking for ways to get rid of us. And ultimately, he ended up filing an eviction case against us. When it comes to understanding how daunting the process is for tenants that go at it alone, I know because I experienced that firsthand. So I I'm extremely passionate about access to justice and low-income litigants having access to an attorney to represent them in their case, because I know that it makes a huge difference.
Today, Claudia works with the Shriver Project, which provides free legal counsel to Los Angeles County residents like Audrey and Maria who are facing eviction.
It's estimated that we have over 17,000 eviction filings in the county each year in just the Stanley Moss Courthouse downtown.
If they lose at trial or they get evicted, they end up with an eviction on their record, and that impacts them more because they essentially get blacklisted as tenants.
This was my biggest worry, and that worry is gone.
Organización que me ayudó mucho y me atendían bien, gracias a Dios. Le agradezco mucho.
August 6, 2011, 6 a.m., we got a call from our daughter-in-law that a Chinook helicopter was shot down in Afghanistan. Jonas was the commander on that mission. There were no survivors. And that's when we first got the cold steel claw of grief that totally engulfs you.
It was out of that grief that they created a project to memorialize his name forever, but also to give veterans an opportunity to rebuild their lives in the United States when they come back by providing a small business incubator.
Jonas was a born leader, basically.
He talked to us many times about when he got out, he wanted to help other veterans. His passion was so intense, we felt we needed to carry on his legacy.
So basically what we want to do is take in those veterans who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to own their own business, and help them achieve that goal.
They wanted to carry on his memory, and they wanted to make meaningful his sacrifice for others and to live on in others. And that was a very, very touching experience. I'm getting a little bit of goosebumps on my neck as I talk about it.
Public counsel is the reason that we are where we are right now. We've got all the appropriate forms filed, we've got everything filed with the state, we've got our articles of incorporation, we've got our bylaws, we've got our 1023 that we had to file with the IRS.
We brought them into organization and compliance with the non-for-profit rules, but more importantly, I think that we gave them business guidance on how to set up their business.
Public counsel was the matchmaker, and it was a wonderful match.
We're at Martin Palomo's house. Martin Palomo is a very severely disabled boy who was due to birth complications resulting in his biological mother's death. It left him deprived of oxygen and rendered him unable to walk, unable to talk, feed himself, any of the things that we all take for granted.
Haydee Hernandez was Martin's birth mother's best friend.
This is an amazing story. I met them 10 years ago, shortly after Martin's biological mother passed away in childbirth. And from that moment, Haydee truly abandoned any of her own personal goals for her life and dedicated herself to the care of this child.
San Diego.
Oh, at SeaWorld?
Yes, SeaWorld. Yeah. This is Halloween, last Halloween. This is your therapy.
Public counsel asked Alan Matkins to help out with Martin's situation back in 2003 when there was a guardianship issue that required some court proceedings and a hearing.
I love you, public counsel. Yes, it's very, very helpful for me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Alan Matkins, public counsel, have been shoulder to shoulder for 10 years now to help Haydee navigate the web of bureaucracy, deal with issues relating to the Special Needs Trust that funds a lot of Martin Jr.'s needs, and last year dealt with getting some retroactive adoptive assistance benefits that the state was resistant to providing.
It's a good job. It's for him, it's one miracle.
Doctors didn't expect Martin to live more than a few months. Recently, he celebrated his 12th birthday.
His favorite song is Happy Birthday.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Happy Birthday.
You can sing with us, okay?
Okay.
Ready,
Everybody,
Papa?
happy birthday.
Okay, and clap your hands.
Happy birthday to you, cha cha cha. Happy birthday to you, cha cha cha. Happy birthday, dear Mark.
It's been a great 10 years. She's my favorite client.
You look at me? You look at me? Look me.
And now to see it culminate in their adoption really is just, it's a spectacular story with the happiest of endings.
You love me, cha cha cha, cha cha cha. Read it, read it, please.
Learn more about how public counsel changes lives at publiccounsel.org.